Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the future of Grabbz. Obviously, it is seeming more and more likely, if not 100% confirmed at this point, that Grabbz will not be with G2 headed into 2022. Now, he still is under contract, but the rumors going around, again, maybe the rumors at this point, they might even be, not confirmed, nothing is signed, but again, there can be verbal agreements and all this stuff in place, is that Dylan Falco has been in communications with the team. It seems like those negotiations and communications have gone well. It seems like he will be the next head coach of G2, which again would leave Grabbz on the outside looking in. We've already heard numbers about his, buyout, what it's going to be, and we've already heard rumors that G2 is shopping him around a little bit because obviously it's like, it's more than $100,000. It's six figures. So this is not nothing. And obviously a coach with the resume that Grabbz has, all the stuff he's been able to do in his short time with G2, there's going to be teams interested in him. And obviously, we've already started hearing some of those names. We've heard a little bit about what's going on. I just want to dive a little bit deeper into that. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. Consider subscribing to the channel. That'd be absolutely awesome. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So one of the big tweets coming out today is this one from Grabbz. Obviously, this is not very tongue-in-cheek. This is very, very on the nose. This is very, very forward, very, very direct. He tweeted out, "Spending the offseason to educate myself. Knowledge is power, and this is American history has never been this fun. U.S. history for dummies, a reference for the rest of us." And then, all these other tweets, like, "Don't you dare cash out." Obviously talking about, him going to the U.S., going to NA, getting a big check, maybe, retiring. I don't really know if the same thing holds true for coaches and everything like that. But there is a lot of rumors going around that Grabbz could be headed to NA. And obviously Grabbz is playing into that a little bit. Now, could this be a meme? Could this be a joke? Yes, it definitely could. Could it be him, showing that he is interested or that there is some talks going on behind the scenes about him going to NA? Yes, that is also very, very possible. And what I hate about this stuff is whatever ends up happening to Grabbz, people are going to look back on tweets like this, and if Grabbz goes to NA, they're going to be like, "Oh, look, he was telling us the whole time. Obviously, he was just tweeting about stuff like this. It was so obvious." And then if Grabbz stays in EU, because there are definitely some EU options for him as well, if he stays in EU, there's going to be the group of people that's like, "Oh, you idiots. Everyone on G2 trolls. How could you not know that this was a fake? This was a troll, blah, 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 blah." So, the truth is, it's probably somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't read too much into something like this, but obviously, he's playing into some jokes. Obviously, it gives us a good, starting point for this whole discussion, and it does, mean that NA is a real possibility. And going on behind the scenes from rumor accounts and stuff like that, from pretty reliable rumor accounts, some of the better ones, we have heard that there is at least one North American team interested in Grabbz, and that is TSM. And I've already talked a little bit about this, that I think Grabbz would be perfect for TSM, and I am very, very on board for TSM being very aggressive in trying to sign Grabbz, and it seems like that's exactly what they're doing. But it seems like a lot of TSM fans do not agree with me. Obviously, just the TSM subreddit, which, on a funny note, TSM subreddit does not like me a lot. Somebody posted one of my videos there one day. It got a lot of hate. That's totally fine. Obviously, I don't really agree with too many of the TSM subredditors anyway, based on this discussion. There's a lot of people saying that TSM should just go with Curry as their next head coach. Curry was formerly the head coach of FlyQuest. He led them to 2 championships, and, that was great, whatever. FlyQuest had a pretty damn good roster at that time, but, whatever. They didn't win any championships, but they did make it twice. They went to Worlds. They did okay. They didn't make it out of groups, and a lot of people are saying Curry should be the next head coach of TSM, and I definitely disagree with that. I think Grabbz is somebody with a resume, the style, an outsider's perspective, an EU perspective, so many things that I think TSM desperately, desperately needs. He has the mindset and the experience of just an absolute winner, something that Curry nor really anyone else in the TSM organization at this point has. So I would love to see this. And again, the rumors are that TSM right now is in the middle of a very, very big bidding war for Grabbz. It sounds like they are being very, very aggressive, which is something I definitely like to see because, people can argue back and forth about how important coach is or how not important coach is as a position or whatever. But I think getting Grabbz could go a long way in building up just the winning atmosphere, the winning environment that TSM needs to have. And if anyone can do that, Grabbz is one of the best people in the West, if not the entire world, for being able to implement something like that, which I think could help TSM so much. Curry will still be on the staff. They'll still be able to help. Kaze is still there. They still have an amazing staff in a lot of ways, but they need something different. They don't need the stuff that they had last year. Last year sucked. This year, next year, they need to be better. We do know that there is another team involved. Obviously, in a bidding war, you need two teams. The rumor has it that the other team on the other end of that bidding war is Team Vitality. And something very, very interesting I wanted to note from one of Carlos's tweets is we covered this tweet already where Carlos said, no G2 player is interested in joining Vitality. Let me know if I can be more accurate. Obviously, there he's talking about Reckless, he's talking about Mickey, he's talking about Wonder, and whether or not he's blocking their buyouts to Vitality or something like that. He's saying, no, I'm not blocking any buyouts, just nobody wants to go there. But he does say no G2 player. He doesn't say no one on G2. He doesn't say, no G2 player or coach or whatever. So there is the possibility that Grabbz is actually interested in going to Vitality. And again, it does seem like there's a mutual interest there. It seems like right now Vitality and TSM are kind of going back and forth, raising the price, going above even the buyout that was rumored to be for Grabbz. It seems like both teams are very, very hot on this guy and could be in the market. But two other dark horse teams that I wanted to talk a little bit about that I think could potentially get into this Grabbz sweepstakes, especially depending on how Worlds goes, is Team Liquid and Cloud9. Now, again, this is going to depend heavily on how Worlds goes. If these teams have good runs, maybe Grabbz, becomes less of a necessity, less of a need, whatever. And if their Worlds runs go bad, maybe all of a sudden, getting Grabbz could look a lot better for one of these teams. And I think these teams could use Grabbz for a lot of the same reasons. Again, there has not been a lot of winning going on in NA. There is not a lot of teams doing a whole lot of stuff right. At this point, we can't even get out of groups at Worlds, let alone try and make a deep run at Worlds. And, Grabbz has been out of groups multiple times at multiple different international tournaments. He's made deep runs at multiple different international tournaments. And right now, obviously, Team Liquid, they fired Jat midseason. They have an interim head coach in Cold. I think Cold is fine. I think he's been doing a decent job. I don't think he's been doing great. I don't think he is a lock to automatically be their head coach for 2022 just because he's the interim coach right now. I think he could definitely use some more time in academy, use some more time as an assistant coach, and I think Grabbz would be a definite upgrade over him, especially if TL flames out at Worlds, especially if TL doesn't make out of groups, especially if they don't look good at Worlds or they have bad drafts or they're unprepared, they have bad game plans, whatever. I think, Team Liquid Grabbz could be an option and should be an option. And then obviously, I think Cloud9 as well. Same thing with them there. They kind of had this weird coaching situation where Mithy kind of just got thrust into the head coaching position. He was an assistant coach. It seemed like he was fine and happy with being an assistant coach. It didn't even seem like he necessarily wanted to be the head coach, but he just kind of got put there because they needed somebody to do it. And I'm sure, he got a little pay raise. I'm sure he wasn't, denying that or anything. But again, do I think Grabbz would be an upgrade over Mithy? Yeah, most likely. I think Mithy would probably, at least at this point in his career, most benefit a team being an assistant coach, and that Grabbz has much more experience and much more kind of history, resume, all this stuff as a head coach and as a leader of a team. And I think Cloud9 has a ton of awesome pieces in play, and obviously reuniting him with Perks, I think, would be a good thing, and I think something that would benefit all the parties involved. But right now, the two leading frontrunners for Mr. Grabbz in 2022 do seem like TSM and Vitality. But again, if it was me and I'm TL and I'm Cloud9, I'm absolutely throwing my hat in the ring. And I think any of these four teams that ends up with Grabbz, I think they are getting a great coach. I think they're getting a great upgrade, and I think they're greatly benefiting their chances of finding success in 2022. But into the future as well. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Where do you think Grabbz will or should end up in 2022? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to save today and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.